We are live streaming. Not because I really was intending to live stream tonight, but I did a full video and put all the footage in my computer, and most of it was corrupted. So, not ideal, and I don't feel like going through that twice in a night. So, we're just gonna do this way, where the footage can't get messed up. What I did today, I went out, I bought arguably way too much makeup, and now I want to play with it. And as I said, I did this today. I washed it all off. I made some critical mistakes though, so really this could just be a blessing in disguise. We are going to try out some foundation, some primers, concealer, setting sprays, eyeshadows, mascara, lipstick, eyeliner, and sponges. Evidence that I was using them today. Okay, because I got two foundations, we're going to split my face in half. And I think I'm going to do an e.l.f. side and I'm going to do a not e.l.f. side. Because I'm super excited to try a bunch of e.l.f. stuff. It's so affordable. It is so affordable. And I wish more makeup was affordable, to be honest, but most is not. I also have a list of how much everything costs, so I will try to call things out as I go along. I made a mistake earlier trying to use this foundation with this primer. I don't think they match well, so we're going to do e.l.f. foundation and the Putty primer on one side, and then this Illuminating primer on the other side, so that everything gets a fair shot. Because I used the Putty one, and under this infallible foundation, it was just coming off. So, let us begin. I think this is the one everyone was going absolute nuts over, where they're like, this is the greatest cheap primer ever. It's their Luminous Putty primer. It sat at, I'm looking, $10.97. Yeah, you see I took a tiny, tiny bit out. We're going to do this again. It does actually have instructions on the back of the box to do a very thin layer. So we're going to try to do a thin layer on this side of the face. My first thoughts when using it is that it feels a lot like, well, I'm going to need more than that. It feels a lot like the Benefit Pore Perfecting, which I really like that primer, so I ain't mad about it. And it is not a cheap primer, but this one is in comparison. You know what? I'm going to just use a sponge. It's going to be easier. Yeah, that does feel better. It's a little bit sticky, a little bit tacky, which I do not mind. Definitely sparkly. I don't know if it picks up on camera, but it is real sparkly. Like really sparkly. I guess that's what makes it illuminizing. Man, I sure hope my mics are working. I didn't check them, but I'm seeing the light. Oh, wait. But I'm seeing the light bars go on, so I'm guessing they're working. Whew, it's been a day. I mean, obviously it's been a day. It's 1:50 in the morning and I'm doing this. Okay, I'm going to do the other side with this e.l.f. also illuminating. Are they both? No, one's luminous and one's illuminating. Illuminating face primer. This one sat at $8.48, so not really all that expensive. Smells weirdly like cleaning, like a cleaning product. I mean, I'm not against the smell of cleaning products, it's just not exactly what I think of when I think of makeup. How's your day going? How's your Saturday at 1:50 in the morning going? Are you seeing what I'm seeing here? I think this primer has pigment. Because, like, look at the redness on this side. Huh. Well, that's fun. Okay. I have not opened this yet. This has never been tried, so this is really going to be a genuine reaction. I got the color Snow, and please remember, I didn't get to test any of these in store, so if the colors aren't great, I didn't get to test them out, and it's been a long time since I bought foundation. Yeah, it's been a while since I bought foundation, so forgive me if the color ain't great. Okay. Anyways, yeah, this one is a satin finish, flawless satin foundation in the color Snow. It says it has a medium coverage. Okay, that's what it looks like. Oh, it's a little pump. That's cute. I think we're going to start with a little and then build up to more because I don't actually know how much I need. Starting with this a little bit. Yes, this is our e.l.f. side. Ooh, I might have grabbed too much if we're being honest. Now back in... Oh, that has got a strong perfumey scent. This might be too light for my face. Back in the day, when I was buying foundation, and I'm talking like, probably like 10 years ago and longer, I would just go and get the lightest shade available in any given brand because I knew that I was the lightest shade in everything because inclusivity was not a thing yet. And I'm not mad that we have like access to makeup for people now, but now I go in and I'm like, okay, I'm probably like the fifth from the lightest, and then I wind up doing this where I am too light. But I don't think terribly too light. Like neck color, it's pretty close. I think maybe my face is just so hyperpigmented these days from being abused that everything seems like the wrong color. We will see. Oh my. Oh, the little bit of the glitter is kind of showing through from the primer, and it's really cute actually. This is not a bad foundation. I expected way worse. I don't know if I told you how much this foundation costs actually. This foundation was $8.48. That's $8.48. Like, it's not like filling in texture or anything. It's not doing anything fancy, but like, it's sitting pretty on the skin. I'd say it's like light to medium coverage from what I'm seeing. I don't know how much I want to try to build it because I feel like just from the texture of it that it'll get real cakey real fast. I'm not mad at it though. I'm not mad at all. Not mad at all. And it didn't take that much really to do my whole face. Okay, let's do the infallible side, which I have used now, and I know it was giving me problems earlier, but I really think it's because I used the wrong primer under it, so I'm going to give it another shot. This one is a much thinner consistency, and it smells very much like cheap drugstore makeup in that it's like a harsh chemical smell. The e.l.f.'s had a very fragranted smell, which I think are two very different things. One is like, hey, I am made of awful things that are going to hurt your skin. The other one's like, hey, I'm hiding the fact that I'm made of horrible things that are going to hurt your skin. So, they're definitely toned differently. I think the Snow one had a better undertone for my skin tone. This one is definitely more yellowy. Oh, man. Man, I wish I took cosmetology in high school. My mom wouldn't let me, but I wish I had. I feel like I would have been much better at makeup by now if I had, because I would have actually learned usable techniques, like built on a foundation of knowledge instead of my own mistakes. Okay, I would say the Infallible has better coverage, even though it's a thinner foundation. Like, I think it's covering my redness a lot better. It is so weird that I am definitely ghost-faced, but it matches my neck. Like, my face is just so much pigment all the time. It's a joy of just beating the shit out of your skin all the time, if we're being honest. Not that I mean to. I moisturize her. I give her water. I would say the Infallible is definitely caking more. And to give this a fair shot, I'm not powdering or anything. I'm just going to see how she goes. But, better coverage, but a little cakier. This Infallible is like $18.97, by the way. So, like, side-by-side comparison, price-wise for quality, from what I can see already, e.l.f. is doing better, and it is, you know, $10 cheaper. So, Okay. Now we're going to go with this e.l.f. 16-hour Camo Concealer in a matte finish. It's real pale. I know it's real pale. I only want one shade lighter than the foundation, or that's what they had in store, so I assume it was one shade lighter than the foundation. It's called Fair Rose. Side note, I love that companies put things like 16-hour wear. Who is wearing something for 16 hours? And if it's you, don't. It's not good for your skin. Don't wear something for 16 hours. Nah, girl. Alright. It's time for the blending. Now, I did not get like a lid primer or anything, so I'm just going to use concealer because I'm being a bit lazy. Also, like, I kind of had a rough list of products I wanted to pick up today to try, and I was looking and looking, and so many of the shelves were just empty, like no product available. Most shades were sold out. Like across the board. I was looking for lipsticks, and it took me maybe 20 minutes to find a lipstick that had like a seal on it, because I do not like buying things that could have been tampered with. Yeah, selection wasn't great today. Okay, immediately this is sitting kind of pretty on the skin, but I fear it will quickly crease on us, at least on this side. I would say its coverage isn't any better than the foundation though. Like, definitely not a super packed concealer. Okay, we're gonna use the same one on both sides. I'm just not gonna let it dry down because I know I'm gonna be chit-chatty. I don't want to have things dry down on me before I'm ready. Okay, side by side here. Yeah, it's definitely creasing up really quickly, and it feels like it's going to be really flaky really fast. Not ideal. Not ideal. But I mean, it is a $7.48 concealer. My favorite concealer, by the way, is a Sephora brand concealer. And it's... I'm trying to remember its name. I think it's called Make No Mistake. It is super, super thick. Like, I have to put it out of the tube and, like, get it ready on my fingertips, dab it on Blends out beautifully, has great coverage, and I don't think it was all that expensive, though don't remember the price, but I know it was affordable. If you need one, I would buy that one. This isn't terrible. I feel like it needs powder, but we ain't playing that game today. Not today, because I didn't buy any powder, and I'm not pulling out something else. Not terrible. None of this is terrible. Alright. I think we're going to hit this with a little bit of setting spray for the hopes that it does actually matte things down a little bit, because this is a matte magic mist and set. It's called a fixer spray. I don't know what that means. It was $6.48 for 2.02 fluid ounces. Let that dry down for a second. Now, the next products we have, I'm going to laugh at a little bit. Oh, by the way, the sponges. Okay, so I bought a 2-pack because my old sponges, actually I'm down to one old sponge and it's got cracks. That's it wet, that's it dry. So like the size difference when it swells is considerable. For the 2-pack, they were, I'll find them, don't you worry, $14.97. So like $7.50 a sponge. In my experience, a decent quality sponge, I think the last one I've been using is like the Quo brand. So like the Shoppers Drug Mart home brand. I've had it for like 2 years. And before anyone is like, that's gross, I wash it all the time. It hasn't shown any signs of mold or anything. There's no clumps, there's no hard patches. I literally wash them out before every single use. I say this after using a dirty sponge, but I was just using it like an hour ago on these same products, so I'm not. Anyways. Yeah. Forgot where I was going. Oh yeah, they tend to last me a couple years, so I feel like $7 a sponge, not a bad price. Not a bad price at all. Time for a sippy sippy though. Don't drink those, they're bad for you. Okay. What is next? I think what's next is Covergirl. I remember when I was younger, I used to buy a set of these, but they were the Wet n Wild, and they were designed to be like the perfect smoky eye, and they were pretty much the same colors, but they had this tiny little section for the crease color, and the crease color was always like rusty red, and it would be like browns and grays. I wore them for years, till I learned what good makeup was. This little guy, by the way, was $7.97 for 4 shades, and reasonably sized pans, actually. It is 5.5 grams or 0.19 ounces. I'm not going to pull a pan out. I considered it. I'm not going to do it. Alrighty. It does come with this terrible little applicator. I don't know if you guys remember these. I'm not going to use that. I'm not going to disrespect myself that way. Hello, my favorite brush. I don't know why these are so great. They're the Firma brushes, and I love them. I only have 2 of them, and I love them. I wish I had more. If I had a full set of Firma brushes, my life would be perfect. Though I've been considering buying the MAC. Like, I've been looking around for brushes, because I have a couple Morphes. And I gotta say, the quality isn't there. They shed like crazy, and they feel terrible on my skin. These I really like. I have the 2. I have the 103 and I have the 202. I love them. I still have, and I've had these for forever, some of the Body Shop, like the labels, like the name on it's worn off. I have, I think, 5 or 6 of these. They are probably over 10 years old, and they are still wonderful to use. I also have the blusher here. Oop. Apparently that brush is not clean. I love those brushes as well. There's another one I have here that I really like. This one is Slim's Glam. I have no idea, but I've been using it for a couple years and I really like it. I think I have one other favorite here. Oh yes, this one. This one is a Farrah brush. I've never seen this brand again. but I really like this as a blending brush. Anyways. Alright, CoverGirl. Let's hit it. I think we're going to work lightest to darkest and then hit our crease with this very shimmery shade. So let's do it up. Just stamping color under my brow bone. This color is essentially the color of my skin. I did do a swatch earlier just to see how much color payoff there is with these. The answer is very little. But I also understand that the target market for this product is probably not, 20-some-year-old women trying to get huge color payoff and have really expressive makeup. I feel like this is more so for women who are trying to have a consistent look with a more matured tone. So something that is not, in your face. And for that, I do think they do very well. CoverGirl has had this kind of consistent palette for as long as I can remember. And they're always little and they always go fairly well together. And they're not super, super bright or super pigmented. But they are appropriately muted. That's the way I'm going to put them, appropriately muted. And admittedly, they're good for travel. You can throw them in like your little, little makeup bag in your purse. And they're easy to transition from day to night looks because they have darker tones in them. And you can just play those up a little. I don't dislike these. Like, I understand their value. And it's not in their super high pigment and they're super shiny. They're just a good basic, really. If you see me looking down and doing this, it's because I'm the worst and I will knock off my brushes on my jeans. It's a thing I do. I don't live stream much, so I have to keep reminding myself that, I can't edit this out later. Go me. Okay. Second tone going in here. Stamp, 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 stamp. I would call this like a little lovely taupe, actually. It's probably the right color for my eyebrows, to be honest. It's showing up a little, yeah. It's not an exciting, but I think it's cute. When I was younger, I used to be very consistent with my looks, and every day I kind of did the same aesthetic, and I only used the same 10 products every day. And my goal was to make myself look the same as every other day. To have like a, this is my face kind of look. And as I've gotten older, I have thrown that out the window. Not just in my makeup, but in the way I dress. One day I might be looking incredibly feminine with these beautiful winged liners and these big bold red lips and these glam eyes. And the next day I got no makeup on and I'm wearing dirty jeans. The day after that I'm like a middle sporty in between with like a little chic, like a little tiny wing, bare kind of aesthetic though foundation. And like just a lip. And then the next day I'll be like trash can again. And I'm okay with that. I have been enjoying expressing myself through my makeup and through my wardrobe on a daily basis. And it's something I really miss when I'm up at work, is the ability to express myself aesthetically. Because when I'm at work, I have work pants, I have work shirts, I have my work backpack, I have my work boots. There is no expressing yourself there. A lot of fallout, I'm going to be honest about that part. Also, I shouldn't be knocking off on light jeans, but I am. Whew. Okay. It's not bad. It's really not bad. I'm not trying to convince myself. I genuinely believe it's not bad. Okay, so this is the darkest shade on this tiny little palette. I'm just going to stamp it in a little. Because I feel like they really don't want to pick up great. But I also understand that these are designed to be used with a spongy little thing that's going to pick up a little more aggressively than my, soft brush does. And they're really designed to be smeared on. I just refuse to do that. I don't want to. You can't make me. I think this one we're just going to try to get the color on there and work it after that. I had a rather fun moment today when I had just purchased these and I was sitting in my car talking to my mother on the phone for a moment before I left, and I had these 3 young men who were very excitedly jumping around the front of my car, and because I have tinted windows, I don't think they noticed I was in there at first, and then did recognize that I was in the car and were shouting. They're yelling at me. They're like, "You have a nice car!" I was like, "Oh, let me just bring down the window a little." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, what did you say?" Because I couldn't quite hear them. And the guy like comes over to the window. He's like, "You have a really nice car. I like your car." I was like, "Oh, thank you, young exuberant people. This was nice. I liked this." The kid's there. He's trying to talk to me, and I'm like, "I'm gonna cut you short, though. I am on the phone with my mother." And he's like, "Oh, okay, sorry." This is nice. I liked this. Actually, I was talking to my mother because of that. She was telling me she went and registered her car this week again because her registration was up. And she was talking to the guy at the counter because her registration went up. Everyone's did in Alberta. She was like, "Oh, I was really more worried about my daughter's insurance this year, or registration this year." And the guy was like, insurance. And the guy was like, "Oh, but why?" And my mom was like, "Well, she bought a Charger this year." And the guy looked at her and he's like, "Well, Chargers aren't that bad, like, base models." And she's like, "No, she didn't get a base model. She got the SXT Plus with all-wheel drive." And the guy looked at her and was like, "That's a real nice car. Your daughter's got good taste." My mom's like, "Yeah, my kids are pretty cool." And I thought that was cute. I thought that was really cute. I'm not cool, but I like that my mom thinks I am. I like that random people on the street are excited by the things that I like. It brings me a lot of joy, actually, to have people run over and be like, "I like your car," or people revving up beside me at the lights. Like, it brings me genuine joy. That was my goal with buying this car. It wasn't to, like, have the world's coolest car, because it's not the world's coolest car, and I know that. My goal was to have more fun in my driving, because when I think about how much time I spend in my car in a week, I would like to enjoy it more than just being like, "Oh yeah, let me just start my old Santa Fe." Now I get to be like, "Yeah, let's go, my girl." Though this car is more difficult to back into my garage. Oh, I shouldn't pick. Oh yeah, we're getting some definite creasing. Like hard creasing in my line here, my smile lines. But not really on the e.l.f. side. That is interesting. The e.l.f. side really is, like, it's a little patchier around the nose in general, but it's not creasing up. Under the eye, the concealer is the same on either side, but it's not creasing as much on this side. I think, honestly, that's because I use one side of my face more than the other, and I know that I'm like that. So that's why. This side's creasing harder because I use this cheek more. But the concealer is definitely a no-go for me. This foundation is holding up so far, though. This one's getting a little creasy, but it's sitting really nicely on the skin. So I don't know which one I'm rooting for right now. I got lost in my own conversation with myself there. Oh yeah, the purpose of driving my car. The purpose of driving my car is to just enjoy my day more. I recognize that it wasn't like the most practical vehicle in the world, and I understand that it wasn't like the coolest. Because let's be honest, I can't afford my dream car. My dream car is an F-Type 2018, depending on which year I'm living in, 2018 Jaguar with the supercharged V8, because it's beautiful, and it's a coupe, and I love coupe cars. I love that their back ends are so thick. They're curvy. This is going to sound a little odd, but my dream cars are all black cars with big, thick, curvy back ends. I love them. They're sexy. And I don't know what that says about me, but I like it. Unfortunately, those cars tend to be way more to insure, because coupes are more expensive to insure, and they tend to cost a lot. Last time I looked at the Jag I wanted, it was sitting at $83,000 Canadian, and it was heavily used. So, I mean, what you gonna do? Alright, I think I want to take this. Oh, here's one of the other Body Shop ones. Though this one I have damaged through my foolishness. I'm going to take this darker shade under my eye as well. I think that'll make it look a little more finished. I've been enjoying doing this lately. I might have to burp, and I'm so sorry if I do, just so you know. It wasn't a might, it happened. Sorry, I wish I had like more entertaining things to talk about, but my life so far this year has consisted of my car, and my car, and my car, and like hanging out at my dad's house, standing on the drive pad, looking at my car. So that's really where I am. I have a friend who constantly tells me that I am a masculine presence for reasons like that. And every time I'm like, nah, I don't think so. And he's like, Eva, where do you find joy? And I'm like, in a garage. He's like, yeah, that's why. That's why we get to say that you're like a dude. And I'm like, well, you know what? Fine. But I'm the prettiest dude I've ever known. That's not even true anymore. There's a lot of men that dress way better than I do. There's a lot of men who do their makeup better than I do too. That's okay. It is a skill set like any other. And unfortunately, it's not one I commit all of my time to because, as stated, I work construction and I'm not going to wear makeup up there. There are women who do. I don't think it's the greatest thing, but I think it also depends on which trade you are in. Like, to me, for my job, I have to put a mask on all the time, like a sealed mask, so it would just screw up my foundation. Having anything near my eyes probably wouldn't, just in general, wouldn't be great. Like, any mascara or liner that, with, like, irritation could run into my eye, could present a huge hazard for me when I'm working at heights. You have to wear safety glasses, and they're typically pretty tight to your face, so, like, your lashes would just be banging against, I don't know. I don't get it. But there are women who really seem to enjoy doing it. So, they must make it work somehow. How's that for cuteness? I think the cuteness level is there. I think I have a little. I do. Oh yeah, here's another one. Man, I just have a lot of these. I think my sister-in-law gave them to me as a Christmas gift when I was in like grade 10. And Melissa, I'm still using them. I still love them. Thank you. Thank you for your nice commitment to me. Man, it's hard to believe that there's some people I've known that long. Okay, this shimmery gold shade does not have a lot of payoff. And that is maybe a little irritating because this is the one where I really want to have color payoff. How's it looking on camera? It's very yellow on camera. It's not that yellow in person. It's much deeper looking gold in person. I do love gold lids though. I bought the Glitter in Gold palette from ColourPop forever ago, probably like 2 or 3 years ago now. And I still use it all the time because it has some of the most gorgeous golds in it. And they have everything from like white gold to the deepest yellow gold. No rose gold or anything, but I don't really dabble in that anyways. The only thing I have that's rose gold is a pair of Nike sneakers that are black and rose gold. Because they were on sale for like $50. How are we feeling about that? I ain't mad about it. Yeah, for like $8. For something you can just throw in your purse. And I mean, I feel like you really could do a smear job with this. Like, if I wanted to darken it up, like if I'd worked an office job and I wanted to darken it up before dinner, I really feel like I could just... And admittedly, this is probably the darker version of this look anyways, because I did really work it in. I wanted that color payoff, so... If I'd gone lighter, I think I could have darkened it easily with my fingertips, is what I'm saying. I feel like the lip next. This is a N.Y.X Lingerie XXL. It is the color Stamina. Yeah. It was $10.97. Took me a second, I scribbled things. I do not necessarily love this shape of doe foot, but I understand why people use them. And that's too much product, I think. It smells delicious, like sweet vanilla. Feels like velvet on my lips, by the way. That is real bold. I didn't realize till I looked into the screen how bold of a red that is. Which admittedly, considering how pale my face is, might be a little too bright. Maybe just a little bit. That's okay though. I think it's real cute. If you're thinking, hey, it looks very uneven, nah, that's just the shape of my face. I'm following the natural lines that my lips actually live on, and my lips are not even. Which is something that I used to be really upset about. I'd do my lipstick and I'd like draw all the lines so it would be like perfectly symmetrical, and I just ain't got time for that. Nope. This is the way my face looks, and I'm just gonna follow the lines of my actual face. Because A, it's easier, and B, I don't dislike my face, so why would I mess with it that much? It's not worth the time. Okay. Next up we have CoverGirl Get in Line Active Liner. It came in at $9.48. So it's on the upper side of our pricing today. It's got this absolutely tiny little applicator. I don't know if we're going to wing this or if we're going to go fine line. I haven't decided, but I'm going in. So I got to decide fast. This would be easier if I'd flip my mirror to the magnified one, but I'm not. Oh, this, I don't know why, but the smell of this is giving me flashbacks to like dollar store eyeliner that I used to use. Also, sad admission, once upon a time, I used to use calligraphy ink as eyeliner because it was the thinnest thing I could buy back then, and there wasn't really a lot of liquid liners. Not that I had access to anyways. Like, it wasn't uncommon to like wet your brush and then make a line out of powder, and I didn't like doing that, so I used to use calligraphy ink, which admittedly was probably really bad for my eyes, but man, was it sharp. I loved it. I did that for a long time. And I'm not advising you do it. Don't use ink on your eyes. Only use products that are safe for your eyes. But I did. Because these products weren't really around back then. What do you think of just a delicate little line? I think it's kind of cute. I'm gonna bring it out a little bit though, because I want it out a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Like a really tiny doe eye. Honestly, a pretty decent little product. Super fine applicator, super dark, like inky black. Is it the absolute smoothest line in the world? No, but also like I know that my hands shake. So I'm pretty happy with what it is. And price wise, I have been using the Morphe Pot Gel Pot eyeliner with, I think I have the little brush here. Yeah, with a Morphe little brush. And it's fine. Really difficult to get a thin line with though. Like even when I use the finest brushes I have a really hard time. Like that is definitely a fill in the gap kind of eyeliner. And also like it is difficult to work with at times because it's so stiff. Like it doesn't want to be gel and light and you really got to work it and that's frustrating. But it is also very inexpensive. I think the two products together, like the brush and the pot, were like less than $25 together. So anyways, we're going to do L'Oréal Paris Voluminous Carbon Black. This is a product that I have been seeing on shelves for, I think, a really long time. This one is in Carbon Black. Oh, it says okay, it's the same one. U700. It was $5.97. So super cheap. And it's got a very, I would say an older style wand on it. I got no problem with older style wands. I'm watching my eyelashes go from see-through to beautiful carbon black. It's not super thin, so it's not like runny, but it's not super thick, so it's not feeling clumpy. Admittedly, I did use this earlier when I did my failed... Eva. I used this earlier when I did my failed video. So I know how I feel about this, and if the footage still existed, you would see my genuine first reaction where I was just like, this was $5. And it's super cute. Like, is it the biggest, boldest lashes you'll ever have? Absolutely not. Are they cute? Yeah, they are. They give you decent definition. They're not bulky. My biggest issue with mascaras in the last year has been that they are like sticky, and my lashes will wind up clumping together. And I find a lot of them really aren't that buildable. Like you can only put one coat on. And I've just been getting frustrated by all these mascaras that make these huge promises about being like the greatest volume and the thickest lashes. Where it's like you can do one or you can do the other. Either you can be beautiful building volume or you can be length building. Stop trying to be both. It don't work. These are definitely more length building in my opinion. This one is more length building. It's not trying to plump my lashes up to 1,000. It's just trying to give me length on what I got. And I appreciate it for that. I don't really love super thick lashes anyways. It's really not my aesthetic. So for me, this is a really nice product and it is under $6. And yes, I absolutely do a mascara face. I remember in junior high, there was a girl in my class, her name was Katie, and she was telling us about her mascara face. And I was like, I don't think I have a mascara face. And I went home and I watched myself, and I still do today where I'm like, we all have a mascara face. We just hide it to ourselves. But we all have it. It's there. I like this stuff. I can kind of build on it and it doesn't look gross. And it's super cheap. We gotta clean up where I smacked my face though. Like a fool. You good enough for me, Neil? I made it worse. Okay. What was supposed to be a delicate scrape did not work. What have I got? I'm in my basement, so I don't have like all of my beauty stuff with me because I do my makeup 2 stories above here. No. Okay. The scrape. Okay. Good to know. Scraping does not work with this stuff. Once it's on, it's on. Okay, we'll hide you. Don't worry, girl. We'll hide you. We have made mistakes, and that's okay. Good enough. Face full of new drugstore products. Is it cute? I think it's cute. Like, nothing about this is showstopper. Nothing about this is like $1 million look, but I think altogether it is a very wearable aesthetic. And the fact that my face is split in half with different foundations and you can barely tell is actually kind of funny to me. So far the e.l.f. side is still more consistently sitting. Ooh, even on my forehead, the Infallible is creasing considerably worse on the forehead. On the side of my eye, I see more lines sitting in it. And in my smile lines, it is creased. Oh, even down here, it's starting to crease. The e.l.f. might just be a better product. Isn't that interesting? I think it's real cute. I would wear this out on a date. Yeah. Well, thanks for hanging out while I did my makeup. I guess this is kind of a like get ready with me. I should probably relabel this video. But I had fun, so thank you for joining or watching or whatever you did. And I will see you next time. Okay, bye.